Across the vast expanse of China, a colossal stockpiling campaign is quietly, but relentlessly unfolding. From crude oil to grains, from pork to critical minerals, the nation is amassing reserves on a scale the world has rarely seen. These are not just routine supplies, these are mountains of resources, carefully accumulated and meticulously guarded. The sheer volume is staggering. Oil tanks brim to capacity, grain silos overflow, and warehouses are packed with pork and minerals, all forming a strategic buffer against the unknown. This is no secret operation. In fact, the world is watching closely. The magnitude of China's stockpiling has sent ripples through diplomatic circles, leaving global leaders and analysts alike to wonder, what exactly is China preparing for? Is it simply caution, or is there a deeper, more strategic motive at play? Officially, Beijing maintains that these efforts are about ensuring economic stability and safeguarding its population from the unpredictable shocks of the global market. They point to recent history, COVID-19 lockdowns, escalating trade tensions with the West, and the ongoing war in Ukraine, as justification for building such vast reserves. The message is clear. China wants to be prepared for any disruption, no matter how severe. Yet, when one country holds more than half of the world's grain reserves, the explanation seems to go beyond mere prudence. This level of preparation hints at anticipation of a major crisis, one that could disrupt global supply chains or even lead to prolonged isolation. The scale of China's stockpiling suggests a nation bracing for scenarios far more serious than routine market fluctuations. Many experts believe the answer lies in China's ambitions regarding Taiwan. By building what some call a fortress economy, China aims to insulate itself from the devastating effects of international sanctions and blockades that could follow any conflict over the island. The stockpiles are not just about food and fuel, they are about buying time, maintaining stability, and projecting strength in the face of potential confrontation. So, is this a sign of defensive resilience, or is it preparation for something more assertive? The reality likely lies in the intersection of both. China is fortifying its economic security while simultaneously enhancing its strategic readiness, blurring the line between defense and offense. To truly understand China's mindset in these uncertain times, one must grasp this complex dynamic. At the heart of it all is Taiwan, a focal point in China's calculations, and a symbol of the broader challenges facing the world's second-largest economy as it prepares for an unpredictable future. China's stockpiling is highly targeted. Energy, food, and strategic minerals top the list. The country has filled its strategic petroleum reserve, buying oil aggressively to buffer against import disruptions. It now holds over half the world's grain reserves and maintains a national pork reserve to stabilize prices and prevent unrest. Beyond food and fuel, China dominates the supply and processing of critical minerals like lithium and rare earths, essential for modern technology and defense. This is not just about hoarding, it's about closing every vulnerability to external pressure. By securing these essentials, China builds a shield of economic resilience, reducing the impact of sanctions and giving itself more freedom on the world stage. The shopping list is a blueprint for national independence in a fractured world. China's economic engine runs on imported oil, fueling its factories, powering its cities, and driving the world's second-largest economy forward. Every day, millions of barrels are shipped in to keep the nation's lights on and its industries humming. But most of this vital oil supply must pass through the narrow and crowded Strait of Malacca, a maritime choke point that is both essential and dangerously exposed. Any disruption here, whether from conflict, piracy, or political tension, could send shockwaves through China's economy. To guard against this risk, Beijing has constructed vast oil reserves, stockpiling enough crude to last for months if imports are suddenly cut off. These reserves are hidden in massive underground caverns and above-ground tanks, forming a crucial buffer against global uncertainty. But simply stockpiling oil isn't enough. China's leaders know that true energy security requires a multi-layered approach, combining storage with new supply routes and international partnerships. That's why China is investing heavily in overland pipelines from Russia and Central Asia, forging new links that can deliver oil directly across borders, far from the reach of hostile navies or blockades. At the same time, China is developing alternative maritime routes, such as the corridor from Pakistan's Gwadar port, which allows oil to flow overland into western China, bypassing the vulnerable Malacca Strait entirely. These moves are part of a grand geopolitical chess game, as China redraws the global energy map to reduce its dependence on any single route or supplier. Each new pipeline and port is a strategic piece, carefully placed to outmaneuver potential threats. The ultimate goal is strategic independence, ensuring that, even if sea lanes are blocked or threatened, China's economy can keep running, its factories can keep producing, and its people can keep moving forward. In this high-stakes game, oil reserves are more than just a hedge against price spikes. They are a lifeline, a guarantee of survival in times of crisis or conflict. This is China's answer to the Malacca dilemma, a strategy of preparation, resilience, and foresight, ready for a world where access to energy is not just an economic issue, but a powerful weapon in global affairs. In China, food security is political security. This principle is deeply embedded in the nation's governance and history. For Chinese leaders, ensuring that every citizen has enough to eat is not just a matter of welfare, but a cornerstone of national stability and power. Leaders know that feeding the population is key to stability. When shelves are full and prices are steady, social harmony is easier to maintain. But if food becomes scarce or unaffordable, unrest can quickly follow. That's why China holds over half the world's maize reserves, a staggering amount that dwarfs the stockpiles of most other nations. The country also maintains huge stocks of rice, wheat, and soybeans, essential staples for its vast population. All of these are stored in a vast, sophisticated network of state-run granaries, many equipped with advanced technology to monitor and preserve quality. These reserves give Beijing powerful tools to control prices and prevent inflation, acting as a buffer against global market shocks. By releasing reserves when needed, the government keeps food affordable for 1.4 billion people, ensuring that even during global crises, like pandemics, natural disasters, or blockades, China can maintain order and avoid panic. Pork, the staple meat in Chinese diets, is also carefully stockpiled. The government can step in to stabilize prices by releasing frozen pork from reserves, ensuring that families can continue to afford their daily meals. This meticulous planning and management of food supplies is crucial for social harmony, preventing the kind of unrest that can threaten government authority. It also protects the government's legitimacy, showing the people that their leaders are prepared for any crisis. Strategically, these reserves serve as a buffer against international sanctions or blockades, especially if conflict over Taiwan disrupts vital imports. In such scenarios, food reserves become a form of economic defense, buying time and stability. By building what amounts to a food security fortress, China reduces foreign leverage and the risk of being coerced by outside powers. In the end, these vast reserves make China a more resilient adversary, capable of withstanding shocks and safeguarding its people and government against both internal and external threats. The future runs on critical minerals, rare earths, lithium, cobalt, vital for tech and defense. China saw this early, not just mining, but mastering the complex processing others avoided. Today, China refines the majority of the world's lithium, cobalt, and rare earths, making other nations dependent on its supply chains. Through global investments, especially in Africa and Latin America, China secures access to raw materials for decades. The West is scrambling to catch up, investing in new mines and alliances, but China's head start is formidable. This mineral dominance gives Beijing powerful leverage in the global tech race. It's one of China's strongest tools in the new era of great power competition. China's stockpiling is often linked to its ambitions for Taiwan, the region's biggest flashpoint. Many analysts see reserves as preparation for potential conflict and the sanctions that would follow, but there's no evidence of an imminent invasion. Stockpiling is about options, not a set war plan. Beijing is learning from the West's response to Russia, preparing for economic warfare as much as military. By building buffers, China can absorb shocks and maintain stability if relations with the US and allies rupture. This is strategic planning for a range of scenarios, not just war. The goal increase autonomy and resilience, so China can pursue its objectives from a position of strength. Stockpiling signals readiness, not inevitability. China's stockpiling has triggered a global race for resilience. The US is expanding its own reserves, especially in critical minerals, and forging new supply partnerships with allies. The European Union, stung by reliance on Russian gas, is boosting domestic mining and diversifying sources. Strategic autonomy is now a mantra in Brussels and Washington. India is increasing food reserves and seeking secure mineral supplies for its own growth. Even free trade champions like Japan and South Korea are investing in supply chain security for semiconductors and batteries. The world is shifting from efficiency to resilience, preparing for a future where supply disruptions are the new normal. Most experts see China's stockpiling as defensive, a national insurance policy for turbulent times. The pandemic and war in Ukraine exposed how quickly supply chains can break and resources become weapons. China is simply preparing on a massive scale, ensuring it can weather crises without social collapse or foreign coercion. This strategy makes China more resilient to any confrontation, including over Taiwan, but doesn't make war inevitable. Stockpiling gives leaders confidence and flexibility, changing the strategic calculus. The world is moving away from hyperglobalization, prioritizing self-sufficiency and security. China leads this trend, but others are following. It's about bracing for disruption, not counting down to conflict. China's stockpiling isn't a declaration of war, it's a signal that Beijing expects a turbulent, competitive future. This marks a shift from global efficiency to national resilience and strategic autonomy. Other powers are following suit, building reserves and de-risking their economies. The Taiwan question remains the most dangerous variable, but China's preparations make conflict more feasible, not inevitable. The world must manage this new reality with steady diplomacy and avoid alarmism. We're witnessing a global recalibration. Economic interdependence is now both a strength and a vulnerability. The era of comfortable assumptions is over. Deliberate preparation is the new normal.